Hello everyone and welcome back to another Studio Rumble game. I'm your host for this evening, Gabby Rainbow Pie Gibson, and we are in week 5 of the Studio Rumble Overwatch tournament, which means tonight we are going to be playing on Hanamura. And we've got two teams coming at you. We've got Let the drEAgon Consume You versus the Mighty Dunks and his Flying V. So, Studio Rumble, for those of you who are just tuning in, is a pretty awesome organization run by volunteers to bring gaming companies together, have some good times, have some fun together as we are, just playing games, getting to know each other. And then both these teams, individuals coming from us, from various companies within the gaming industry, trying to have a good time, show off their prowess, have some fun. So Let the drEAgon Consume You is coming at us from EA Motive, and the Mighty Dunks and his Flying V are coming at us from Raven Software. So this is a try-hard game. So these are people trying to do their best. We are still in the preseason, so both teams starting to get a feeling for each other, trying to feel out the competition, feel out their own teams, figure out what their play style is, especially since this game's still fairly new, that the metas are still forming. We're starting to see some trends over these weeks. We see a lot of Roadhog, a lot of Pharah, Soldier 76. Occasionally we'll see some deviations from that. It gets really fun when we see a good Widowmaker making some good plays, sniping down people. Occasionally we'll see people switching over to something like Bastion or Torbjorn, which of course could be really frustrating in the pub stomp kind of games. But in a lot of these coordinated stuff, those static positions end up getting taken out pretty quickly. But sometimes they're able to be used to get effect, used for good stalls. A lot of that upfront strength while the defenses are still getting felt out by the opposition. So Hanamura, it is a asymmetric attack defense map, 2 points. It's one of the ones we got to have in the open beta, which was super fun. I really enjoy this map, but there's a lot of really good choke points that can be utilized here on the defense. You've got that first one where there's that gate, where pretty much everyone is funneled in through. There's a few exceptions of characters that can make it up through the side window, up and to the left from the offense, or from the defense's perspective, up and to the right. And so we expect to see both teams trying to play around how they can poke out through that gate. And we saw a lot of similar experiences last week in Hollywood, where we had that first point there. Teams would meet up against each other. You'd have that line of scrimmage effectively where teams are trying to bust past. And of course, the defense, since they know the other team has to come through, they can set up to get that focus fire onto that gateway position, and then the offense is having to go in, having to push through. And of course, defense wins the fight. They just resets, gets a little more time. Offense pushes through, especially if it's a dominant push through, they're gonna cap the point pretty well. So, but they don't have as many options for that focus fire. Whereas from the defense, you'll have plenty of options to, launch a Zarya ult, a Pharah ult, have Reaper drop in. On this map in particular, there's a lot of long sight lines leading up to that point for the defense. So they should be able to have some really good options for defending there. Especially if you have like a Widowmaker or Hanzo, you can have them sitting up in the top areas, lobbing stuff down. You can work well with characters like Mei, who can just wall off the whole gateway and just, be like 10 seconds of, nope, you're not coming in. Which then, of course, gives the rest of your team time to defend anyone coming in from the upper window. Of course, to break through that, number of strategies you can take, use stuff like Pharah, whatnot. But anyways, we're traveling to Hanamura. It's Let the drEAgon Consume You versus the Mighty Dunks and his Flying V. We're in Japan. Gonna have a good time. Beautiful cherry blossoms coming in. All right, so let the drEAgon consume you is going to be attacking first, and that is going to be Kurt Stomps playing the Mercy, Tome, Sorites, Dixon Stones, Maxor, and Lord Morin. And then on the defense, that is going to be the Mighty Dunks and his Flying V, and that is going to be Holiday on Farah, Chim Chim Monk on Roadhog, Tree Tickler on Mercy, Hand Lotion on Junkrat, Ramius as Symmetra, and Mo Problem. Still deciding. So it looks like the offense has finished out their lineup. We've got Mercy, Junkrat, Winston, Genji, Farah, and Roadhog. You've got that double tank composition. You know, the Roadhog is particularly good whenever you're dealing with going through choke points. You know, if you can grab someone to pull them through the other side, it makes it really easy to get that focus fire. We are seeing the double support coming out of the defense, although we're still waiting for one more person, which, oh no, it looks like we had a disconnect. So, looks like we may be looking at a restart. So, let's see what these teams decide to do. Looks like we are going to be looking at a restart here.
Prepare to attack.
Alright, so give us just a moment. We'll get back into the game. We might have a little bit of changing out of teams and whatnot. So give us just a moment as we get the things moved around. So just as a heads up for everyone in the future, you don't have to have everyone leave the game. You can hit escape to go show to lobby, and you'll give you options there to go back to the lobby. A little bit easier than what we have going on here, where people are trying to remake everything from scratch. Alright, so we're just now getting everybody back into the lobby. Should be going back into game in just a moment. Definitely understandable, you know, people playing on their own computers, sometimes these kinds of technical problems do happen. But fortunately, as before, you know, game of record, no one had really even made it past out the gate before we had that disconnect. So easy enough to just get everything restarted, reset up, get set back to the right map. So we're just waiting on the potato to come back into the game. And then we should be good to go. So while we have this little bit of time, can talk a little bit more about some of the things that we'll be seeing here. So, you know, we saw Roadhogs potentially coming out for both teams. So Roadhog, I really like, you know, is pretty common in the meta, works particularly well in a lot of these coordinated team compositions, especially if you as the Roadhog player are good at hitting your hooks, are good at timing how to back in and out of those skirmishes using that heal. Those hooks really good for that coordination, because as soon as you land that hook, you can call it out. It's like, hey, I've got the Mercy, I've got the Pharah, I've got the whoever, and then all of a sudden there's all kinds of focused fire that's coming right in front of you, as that Roadhog player. And that makes you can take them down pretty quickly. So then all of a sudden you have a 5v6, and that lets you push out or push in, depending on whether you're defense or offense. You get that one person, they have that 10-15 seconds where they're dead before they even respawn. There's then that walking back time to get into it. You've bought an advantage for a solid 20-30 seconds, and that can mean a lot when you're looking at 5 minutes to capture a thing. It's basically you get a hook and it's like you've got an advantage for 1/10 of the time. So that hook is incredibly strong for that reason. That's also why a lot of the mobility for champions is really, really important, because it makes it harder to hit that hook. You have someone that's standing in place, like Reaper just walking around, or Zenyatta, and it can get a little bit more predictable. Roadhog also really easy to hook other Roadhogs, but then you can get the counter hooks and two fat men colliding in the middle. Kind of hilarious. But you won't see it here, but like especially with like areas where you have like knockoffs, Roadhog hooks into a Roadhog, the hooked Roadhog sitting over thin air is going, oh shit, but you can then land your hook and drag the other Roadhog with you. So it's mutual suicide kills. So Roadhog, yeah, we're probably going to see him again. Probably going to continue to see him a lot in the meta. Works really well for whittling other teams down, making it so that the fights that you do have to deal with are a lot more manageable. And he's a fun comp, or he's a fun champion. He, you got that shotgun effect, launch stuff out. Whole Hog is great for knocking people off of points. The knockback is incredibly effective, and especially with the high hit point pool. We can expect to see him as a staple through a lot of these games. So then, taking the conversation back to Hanamura for just a little bit here. So Hanamura, we have talked a little bit about that first point. Second point, really interesting because it is right by the spawn. So the defense, like as soon as they come up, they are back on that point within 5 seconds. So you have about 15 to 20 seconds of a kill before they're gonna get back. Which means as the defense, you are looking to draw out that fight as much as possible, because so long as one person is on that point, you're not taking any of the points. So when you're attacking it, you want to make sure you're trying to get as many people like killed as possible. Make sure you're rolling in. You have a lot of different avenues for it, but you still have a lot of those sight lines, and you still have a lot of that travel time as the offense. You can come in through the front door, but most likely that is going to be covered by some form of suppressive fire. You'll either from Pharah, Soldier, Mei, but there are a number of flanking points. There's a number of characters that can get off to the ledge to the left, and can flank through some of the doorways there. Characters like Tracer, Genji, Pharah, Mercy if she's following someone. And that area, because it has that full hit point pack in that area, it can be a really strong foothold for the offense. You've got being able to poke out from that side door, is going to draw attention from people who are looking to the front or from the left. You can also pop up to the ledge, to the terrace inside, and rain down some fire from there. And then of course you can come in, from the attacker's perspective from the right, go up onto that upper ledge and, rain some stuff down. And one of the things that you won't get as much in pub games is you can use coordination for that like pretty effectively. Being able to have your flankers starting to come in from those side positions, can make it really strong for where your main forces to come from one of the other directions. One common thing is like you could have like a Lucio speed boost in your team up through the front door, moving straight in onto the enemy team while you have, say like a Tracer or Pharah poking out from the sides. And, once that poke starts happening, the defense is going to have to respond to that because, a lot of these characters that are capable of flanking are high damage, low hit point characters. And that means that if you let them run amok, you're looking at a dead Mercy, or some other squishy, maybe it's a dead Widow, maybe it's a dead, whatever your big damage sources can be on your own team, launching those long range assaults, trying to poke down any kind of team looking to get into position to begin their assaults. But we'll see how each of these teams approach each of those checkpoints. There's a number of options that they have here. A lot of it will depend on what kind of compositions they're choosing, what kind of engagements they're looking for. So right now we are looking like we are waiting for one more person. Unfortunately, the person who was unable to connect originally is not able to get back into the game, and the Mighty Dunks are trying to find a sixth person. So hopefully it won't be too much longer. Alright, so I do get a little bit of a status update. It's going to be jumping over just a moment, so thank you for staying with us if you're here. Appreciate the views. Hope you're enjoying the casts that have happened so far this season. Hopefully we'll have some good ones coming up, and even more once we hit the actual main elimination event. So after we are on these 7 weeks, the 7-week preseason, we'll have a vague idea of what the standings are in each of these. And then in the try-hard division, things are going to start heating up as all these teams are going to be vying for the top spots. Don't really think there's much of a prize support for this, but there's definitely a lot of bragging rights. Really cool to be able to say, yeah, ours is the team that won the Studio Rumble. Super fun. All right, so we do have our 6th person in. Hopefully we'll be good to go in just a moment here and load back into Hanamura. Fun little 2-point division here. We'll see what kind of compositions each of these teams wants to go for. Whether we're looking at those kinds of picky compositions with having the Roadhog pull someone in, whether it's more of a AoE time composition with stuff like Zarya, Roadhog, or not Zarya, Junkrat, and Pharahs, or more of that single target picking off, or static defenses versus the more dynamic skirmishy comps. The skirmishes tend to work out a lot better. Simply because, as a coordinated team, you can adjust to where those turrets are placed, find them out, snipe them down. And it looks like we are all good. We're going back to Hanamura. Woohoo! Lovely little view of the pagoda and the pavilion and the courtyard there. Nice little ad for Diva, our favorite little mech warrior. Anyway, so Let the drEAgon Consume You is on the offense. That is still Maxor, Sticks and Stones, Tome, Loadmoran, Sorites, and Kurt Stomped. And defending for the first half of the map is the Mighty Dunks and his Flying V. And that is going to be Holiday, Handlotion, the Janitor now subbed in, Chim Chim Monk, Tree Tickler, and Ramius. So, some similar compositions coming out for both of these teams. We've got a little bit of an AoE composition going for the defense, hoping to catch people out as they're pushing in through that point, laying down a lot of that suppressive fire. We've got the Pharah, Junkrat, Zarya, Roadhog, Mercy, and Symmetra. You know, Symmetra particularly effective on this first point with the limited points of entrance that we can get from the offense here. You know, as well as the Junkrat and Pharah, very good at laying down a lot of that suppressive fire. And on the offense, looks like we got a Pharah, Reaper, offensive Symmetra, Roadhog, Winston, and a Mercy. So I'm curious to see how Tome is looking to use the offensive Symmetra here. You know, it can work out really well with launching the balls in through the door. So you have the defense opting to go for this line of scrimmage back here. Pharah launching some assaults from up above before going back in through the door. Roadhog gets hooked in. He's all on his own. Gets taken down. Him and Winston, both the tanks for the offense, are down. But Maxor popping up over the wall, launching a little bit of fire into the courtyard. Doesn't pick up anyone, though. Reaper tries going around from the sides. Gets cleaned off by the Pharah. Holiday asserting her dominance as the dominant Pharah, taking out the other. We have continuing to push through. Winston going into the backside, trying to go for that health pack onto the back. Manages to pick it up, is that full health, and is looking like he's going to potentially cause some chaos on the back line, which is drawing off a little bit of pressure, letting the rest of the front line start pushing in through that front gate. We've got Maxor coming out to the side, but gets caught up on the Junkrat trap, sniped out by Holiday. Holiday going in big, getting a couple of people down. Mercy tries to go for the res, doesn't get the Pharah, just gets the Roadhog. Lord Marin popping the ultimate, popping Chim Monk off onto the side. Holiday, though, following F onto the Mercy, takes her down. And now the defensive Mercy grabbing up 2 up. And it looks like this hold is going to be working out for the defense. We've got 2 down for the offense. Sorites, looks like he died somewhere along the way, having to go back to the spawn. Looks like we're going to have a regroup here as both teams trying to reset their strategies. Pharah in on the backside, getting a good bit of damage down, and Sorites is able to get some poke out, get that finish off. Good use of the shield, locking that Pharah inside the shield, means she's not going to be able to rock it out. And they are now pushing into the point with that 6v5 that they have going on. Chim Chim Monk's popping his ultimate, following in, gets the Reaper, gets the Roadhog. 2 down, 3 down for the offense. We've got a Zarya ultimate in on the point, which is just grabbing in the Roadhog, preventing him from launching his own ultimate off. And the rest of the defense is able to focus fire that down, and looks like another assault has been foiled here. Rocket Barrage coming in from Holiday. Gets 2 before getting taken out. So that's one thing that you really want to be doing as the defense is, like, if you can scatter. Oh, another ult coming in from Maxor. Doesn't manage to get anyone down. Gets pulled out. We've got a Junkrat ultimate coming in from Tome. Bounces out over to the side. Gets Zarya. She can't get up the shield in time. And that is 3 down for the defense. We've got a teleporter in the back line. Oh, Mercy, though, manages to get close enough to bring both of them back up. All 6 of the defense are now back here, ready to hold. Tome's been taken out off on the side. Reaper's trying to get a little bit of damage down. And it looks like we now have an offensive Widowmaker. Good use of the sightlines here off onto the side. Manages to get Holiday as she jumps up into the air.
They have a teleporter.
So Widowmaker really good at getting on some of that suppressive fire down, but that teleporter is going to be bringing people back pretty quickly. Widowmaker having to disengage as the teleporter is bringing everyone back into the fight. Those 6 charges have been used though, and Ramius is going to have to recharge before another teleporter's coming in. So small window here for the offense. Not sure if they necessarily realize it though, but we do have a couple teams getting aggressive off onto the side.
I'm taking the objective.
Bouncing around and unfortunately getting taken out. Lotion and Holiday playing together, but we've got a couple onto the point. But Maxer gets taken out. Serete is starting to get a little bit of a cap for Janitor's coming back to clean him up.
No one can hide.
Good use of those heals. You know, 2v1 makes it very difficult in order to continue to push through. And Serete is pushed back off to the side, dropped over to pretty low, manages to get the health before jumping back in. Ramius, though, on that Reaper is going to take him back down, opting to ditch the Symmetra on the first point. Given the limited time remaining, going for more of that offensive capability. So we have 30 seconds left. That means we're looking at a single push, and Kurt Stomp gets pulled in, manages to walk back out just in time, though. Oh, Zarya ultimate catches too, and we've got lots of lobbing happening into there, but only able to get out the one. Sorides gets hooked in, but that looks like he was where he wanted to be. He starts walking up to the point. Kurt Stomp tries to follow him, but finds himself looking at a corpse. We've got a lot of bit of action coming around the gate. One left back on the point, and there's no way they're going to be making it back to this. And the Mighty Dunks and his Flying V will take the first half with a successful defense on the first point. So it looks like play the game will be going over to Chim Chim Monk. The Roadhog here right at the last bit. Good use of that ultimate, bouncing everybody back out. You know, goes down really low, but taking out 2, taking out 3, and then finishing off the Winston for a good solid 4. That is what the whole hog looks like. 4 members of the team taken out. Looks like there's some appreciation from both sides saying, wow, that was really good. And it was solid. Like that Roadhog play there, you know, there's a number of pulls where it's like grabbing people into the gate, taking them in, and lets it really easily focus down. You know, especially with Junkrat and Pharah, they're really good lobbing stuff onto there. You know, we saw some good uses of Junkrat traps onto this intro ledge right here. So, you know, as soon as Pharah would try to come in, get trapped out, and get killed. Definitely liked that we saw the switch from Symmetra at the end there. You know, Symmetra, one of her big powers is like when she gets set up, you know, like in the beginning of the game, she can do a lot for shutting down points, making certain choke points or certain avenues very difficult to push through. You know, of course, champions like Winston, very good at clearing those turrets as the Tesla cannon will just arc all over the place. And then once, of course, that, you know, her turrets are taken out and her teleport has been used up, a lot of that value does fall off, so we did see that Reacher Sweep. Anyways, so team compositions now for the back half of the match. We've got Let the drEAgon Consume You taking the defense, and the Mighty Dunks and his Flying V will be trying to push through for both of these points this time. So, defensive composition, we've got Reaper, Widowmaker, Bastion, Reinhardt, Symmetra, and Mercy. And then on the offense, we've got a double support, double tank composition coming at us. Lucio, Zarya, Mercy, Pharah, Reinhardt, and Soldier 76. You know, this offensive composition is a fairly standard composition that we see a lot of the time. Oh, and it works really well because it's basically aimed around poking out the other team. You know, Pharah, Soldier 76, really good at poking out. Although we do have a last second change off from the Lucio into the Reaper, so a bit more offensive there. We do have Sticks and Stones trying to poke out a little bit early. Not able to get any of the kills. Snipes seem to be missing out just a little bit. They'll be forced to back off, so we do have Reinhardt's meeting at the gate while both teams trying to take out the others ones. Holiday, though, coming in from the side, getting a little bit of poke out before backing out, getting healed up by the Mercy. Mercy really good at doing some of that kind of stuff. Got Reinhardt's battling it out on the inside. Serete is getting healed up, and they're able to take 2 out. Start off the hold really solidly there. It was a good Reinhardt slam, but, you know, Reinhardt the slam will do great against taking out most people in a single shot, but against some of those tanks, they have just enough health that can sometimes be a little more difficult. Bastion is taken down, brought back up. And we do have the Soldier 76 trying to come in from the side before getting shot down there by Lord Morin. You know, good bit of rivalry there between Soldier 76 and Reaper, so it's nice to see that they're working out their differences. You know, might be a little bit violent, but you know, some of those bits of aggression are always like that. Anyways, Hand Lotion trying to come in from the side, goes for a bit of the reflect, but then Maxor on the Bastion sitting in from the side shoots him in the back. We do have the teleporter out. Good positioning there. Is going to be really difficult to get found out. But the offense starting to push in off to the side. Lord Morin, though, coming in with the cleanup. Gets the triple kill. You know, especially with that 30% boost from the Mercy means those shotgun shells, if we're doing a lot of damage in close quarters, it's pretty hard to miss those. So can get a lot of cleanup. So from the offensive perspective, you know, we see the Reinhardt using his shield to start getting into position to let people focus out. Sticks and Stones taking out the Genji. He comes around the corner, isn't sitting behind the shield. So here is what a lot of the standard composition is trying to do, is while that shield is up, you've got the Soldier, the Zarya all launching, you know, unloading their clips. Holiday jumping up off to the side, knocks herself back. And both teams just continuing to skirmish around through this gate, seeing if they can launch anyone in. Chip Monk going in onto the backside, finds onto the Bastion, starting to shoot him down. Sentry mode starting to get him brought down to 24 health, and then taking out Maxor just a little under 100, and then being able to heal up. Might have been a different story if that had landed, but oh, some good pushes coming in. Zarya and Junkrat doing some good bit of work. Maxor going into tank mode though. Gets one, gets two, gets three. Sees Holiday in the sights, tries to finish that out, but the tank mode ends just in time, and Lord Morin though gets the cleanup.
They have been revived.
Mercy reses the Street Tickler going in, only picks up Holiday though. Wasn't able to get close enough to the rest of them, and Holiday trying to back out in time, but can't quite. Gets taken out. Good attempt there for the Mercy. If she maybe had made it there a little closer, a little sooner, could have gotten all three of those people up, but wasn't quite able to in time. The respawns had happened. Too little, too late. So we do have a reset here. Both teams are trying to go around the side. Lord Morin pops the ultimate, gets the Junkrat, and coming around off to the side. Looks like we may see a little bit more here in just a moment. Reinhardt's trying to come in, lands the fireman, lands the melee. Reaper gets reaped. So offense do now have a slight advantage.
No one
Never
can
mind.
hide from
Janitor got
my
cleaned up.
sight.
So both teams playing behind the shields. You know, this first point, you know, it's really difficult to penetrate through here. You know, we have a Junkrat out coming off from onto the side, makes it through the Reinhardt shield. Oh, manages to catch two. Reinhardt and Mercy are down. We're not going to see a res anytime soon. And it looks like the Symmetra teleporter isn't up as well. I can't see it anywhere. We are getting onto the point. We've got two. Onto the point. Fair's coming around to the side. A lot of the defense is nowhere to be found. Don't think they're going to be making it up on time. We've got one pip, two pips. Going just last for the first one. And it looks like with 24 seconds remaining, the first point will be taken. So this does mean that the Mighty Dunks will be taking the match. But we don't know whether it's going to be a 2-0 or 2-1. And it's always really fun to see how the teams will play. We've got a defensive Mercy ultimate bringing Tome back up. So Tracer, goes in deep, gets an ultimate down, doesn't manage to land any kills though. Seredes, though, going in also way too deep, doesn't have the Tracer, way to back out, and looks like the offense is finished to find the momentum they were looking for there. Onto the second point, starting to get that pushed out. Good kills coming out from both sides. Lord Morin looking to get onto the point, doesn't quite have the ultimate yet. 94%, it's almost up. If you can get one more kill, land some good health. Oh, there's the ultimate, gets one, gets two, before it gets taken out by the Junkrat. One pip has been achieved by the offense at this point. Serrated is launching the fire shell, which does shoot through the Reinhardt ultimate, smashes into him, knocks him off to the edge, off of the point. 4 minutes remaining. Sticks and Stones switching over to the Mei. Mei working out really well here, especially because, you know, with that ice wall, she has a lot of mobility getting into these upper levels, you know, especially for holding that point, you know, going into the ice block. We've got a Riptire out from Tome, searching out for someone off to the side, coming into the front. Oh, Farah does notice it though, and oh no, it looks like it just timed out instead. So there are Sticks and Stones using that ice wall to get up onto the upper levels, laying a little bit more poke off onto the side. Looks like the offense is going to be opting to go in through the main gate. Holiday trying to get a little bit of poke out, finds where that Bastion is, calling out to the rest of the team, hey, there's where their emplacements are, there's where the Bastion is. You know, Farah particularly good at knocking it out. Reinhardt getting node where it is, launches some fire onto there. Janitor with the Mercy, launching those buffs up onto it, able to drop some stuff down. We've got a Junkrat ultimate coming on from the side from Hand Lotion, gets the Reinhardt and the Reaper. We've got a 6v4, little bit of advantage for, never mind, Mercy, Kurt stomped, popping the ultimate, bringing 2 back up. Mercy Mei getting a little bit of kill off to the side, so we've got really good use. Oh, Zarya ultimate's grabbing in a couple. Holiday's managing to pierce through that shield there. Mei trying to block some stuff off to the side, but with 3 down on the defense, it's going to be a very hard hold. Bastion tries to go for the ultimate, but the offense here doing a really great job of staying separated. You know, Bastion working really well once he can start piercing through people. So, you know, they punch a hole through it off to the side, and then they're able to spread out once they get onto the point, so they can't get shoved off as easily. So play of the game is going to be Maxor as the Bastion. Guessing it's going to be that tank mode on the first point. Yes, here it is. Bidee. Gets 1, gets 2. 3, and good damage onto Holiday. Isn't quite able to get the finish. But there we have the left click of the game from the Bastion. And so in a 2-0, the mighty Dunks and his flying V will take Hanamura. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. I hope you had a good time. This is Gabby Rainbow Pie Gibson signing off. And I will be back in just a few hours for another cast this evening. Take care.